final episode of Real Economy's 4th season. I'm Maitreyi Sitharaman, and what better way to close out this run than to discuss the beginning of a new era of Europe's economic and monetary union, the EMU. The economic integration of 550 million of us in the European Union began all the way back in the 1950s, which a few decades later, through a treaty, really kick-started the economic and monetary union as we know it today. With the introduction and then circulation of the euro, that really was set in stone. But with the UK now leaving the EU, that integration is facing challenges to its very survival. So let's get a clearer picture of what we're talking about. The Economic and Monetary Union aims to integrate Johan, Natalie, Judith and Pierre into one club. Despite differing national policies and economies, the EMU gives them a single currency as long as they meet the rules to join. The European Central Bank, key in the EMU, sets monetary policy, interest rates and targets inflation, helping countries coordinate their policies. Then there is the EMU safety net, where everyone helps when things go wrong. This integration helps Johan sell his cheese across Europe, making his market bigger. His buyer Natalie doesn't incur currency conversion costs or fees. Judith's business with both means she can create jobs like Pierre's, cheese tasting across the eurozone. 19 of the EU 27 countries are now in the euro area. Only Denmark has an opt-out, so 7 EU countries are left to join.
EMU was supposed to bring growth in Europe, but the financial crisis has brought out its flaws and the challenges ahead of it. We're now in Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, the latest country to have joined the EU, and perhaps the next one to join the eurozone. With a population of 4.2 million, a GDP of $48.7 billion, and an economy expected to grow rapidly in the coming years, Croatia still has its own currency, the kuna. I'm eager to meet the kuna's pilot, central banker Boris Vucic.
Hi. Hello. Good to meet you. Yeah? Good to see you.
Competitiveness is there because people can do some things better than the others, cheaper than the others, etc. Of course, the exchange rate always is an important thing in the international trade, but in much of the trade there is no exchange rate.
The EMU wants to protect taxpayers by separating public funds and bank debt. Is that a hurdle for Croatia joining?
I don't think this would be a hurdle for Croatia joining. It's always popular to protect taxpayers' money. However, we have to be careful these bail-inable assets that banks would have to have. We have to be careful how to implement that, and this is still a bit of an unfinished design, I would say. And the second key thing for the eurozone, for the banking union, is to have effective and vigilant supervision and regulation.
Even without joining the club, Croatia has seen the biggest decline in unemployment in Europe, raising the debate of whether it or countries like Poland need to converge to fulfill the EMU promise of job creation.
So right now you're using kunas. You want to join the euro. How is that going to create jobs?
By bringing down the interest rates would promote the investments. Every foreign investor looks at a country, and one of the main risks for the investment is if they invest and the currency goes down. In this case, all investors from the euro area would have that certainty. It also promotes the trade in the same currency because there is no currency risk. So these all things promote both the investments and the trade, and therefore help creating new jobs.
We can all accept that there are plenty of challenges and that Europe is now at a crossroads. So with us is Pierre Moscovici. He is in charge of our economic and financial stability and the euro here at the European Commission. And he's going to lay out the options in front of us today. Let's start off with, how do you connect back with citizens and strengthen the EMU all in this environment?
I would certainly not say that this is very easy. But first I would tell them, look at what you've got. The ECB You've got the Eurogroup, and you've got there a common decisions, such as programs for countries which are in difficulty. The problem is that today we have a lot of disciplines, but we have also a lot of divergence. If it's only strong in the north of Europe and weak in the south, in the north, they will say, why do we pay for those lazy people? And in the south, they can see that their economy is weakening compared to the north. This is why we must again build convergence. That means that some economies have efforts to make, but some other countries which have room of maneuver, as well fiscally, or through their current account surplus, can dedicate more of those to investment. And to be at 19, and maybe more, together inside the eurozone, because when the UK has left, only one country has an opt-out, which is Denmark. All the others, if they want, can join if they are inside the criteria.
That sounds almost like a two-speed, multi-speed Europe is going to be the future. What are the practical elements for citizens in that case?
Sometimes those who want to go faster must have the capacity to do that. That's what we did with Euro. That's what we've done also with Schengen. So I don't think about a two-speed Europe. That would be unfair. But a coalition of the willing.
But what are the practical elements of a multi-speed Europe in terms of a euro? Is that going to be Euro 1, Euro 2?
When we create a banking union, we ensure that the interests of those who are out of the eurozone are protected. So multi-speed Europe doesn't mean a multi-speed euro. I will take another example, the financial transaction tax. We couldn't do that at 28. I hope we'll be capable of delivering that at 10. We need to show by example that it's good to be in, that it's better to be in than to be out of the club.
We've seen also that key elements like risk sharing, they're all very contentious.
Brexit is a main internal challenge. We've got to deal with it in a friendly way too, because we need to keep relationship with the UK tomorrow. There are outside external challenges. Donald Trump is a challenge when you look at the way he manages with multilateralism or protectionism. Putin is another external challenge, and we've got terrorism, we've got refugee issues. I think status quo is not an option. If we stay where we are, then I think the forces which tend to unravel the union will be very strong.
How high is the risk that this all will come to naught?
The risk is high. There are some people, look at my own country, Madame Le Pen, who want France to get out of Europe, to get out of Euro, and a Europe and a Euro without France, frankly speaking, makes no meaning. So I tell the pro-Europeans, don't be so shy. Don't be ashamed of being European. Be proud of it. But not only proud of what you've done, also proud of what you can do.
Mr. Moscovici, on that note, thank you very much for your time. And thank you for giving us your time all this season. We'll see you soon.